Yo, what's up, everybody? I have been pretty absent in the whole Smite world for the past month and some change, really, ever since a couple days after all of the recent layoffs. And I had posted recently on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call that stupid platform that I would post a couple videos and updates. So here we go. Not really going to edit this. I have a couple things I want to talk about or some notes, but I'm just going to kind of let it rip. It's going to be a long video, so it's just kind of classic me fashion. It's just how I'm going to do it. I'm sure I'll get to everything, and we'll see where it takes me. So, anyways, in short, TLDR, whatever. I'm pretty much just done with Smite in every way, I think, in terms of consistently playing it, streaming it, competing it, really anything along those lines. It's just not something I plan to do in the near or distant future. I'll get into a lot of reasons why. In the short term, you might see me play or stream a good bit of WoW stuff just because I'm having fun with it. And sometimes it's fun to stream and hop on, just chat, talk to people, whatever. So that'll probably be what most of this channel and my Twitch becomes, just doing that for fun, see where it goes. I've been having a lot of fun trying to enjoy getting good at that game, and this is a nice thing to do in the meantime when I'm having fun with the game while I try to do and figure out other things and shift my priorities. So that's pretty much the TLDR. I guess expanding on that a little bit, I don't think this should come as a surprise to anyone, right? This isn't like a retirement post or video, because realistically all of the pro players have been retired for the past year and a half, right? That's not a decision that was really up to us. That was more of a decision made by the death of the SPL, right? And the discontinuation of it, if you want to have a more kind term for it. And I also should mention, I should have mentioned this in the initial segment too, I don't really want to focus on dogpiling a ton of added negativity the Smite or Hi-Rez's way. I mean, I'm definitely going to air out some concerns or reasons for the way I feel, but this isn't in any way meant to slam them. You know, nobody has been in an easy situation as of late, so I don't really want to add to that. So I guess the biggest part is just not seeing a future in the game for myself. You know, like a lot of my drive and passion for Smite was purely sustained by the SPL, you know, and I'm sure everyone who follows this channel especially will understand what I'm saying when I mentioned that, you know, I've gone through spurts where I stream a good bit or play ranked a good bit or try to do content stuff, but it's not an innate passion for me in the way that competing was. I don't wake up fired up about it. I don't go to bed thinking of ideas of how to make better content, but I did that every single day for 10 years with the SPL, right? I was constantly thinking about different ideas, or how to be a better teammate, or how to get better practice, or how to improve personally, or just, you know, how to play the game better. All these little things that kind of kept me engaged constantly. Nothing has really scratched that itch like competitive Smite for me. And since they're, in my opinion, and again, I'd love to be proven wrong on a lot of these things that I'm going to say in terms of, I guess, forecasting Smite 2's future, but I don't think there will ever be a pro league that's substantial. I think it's great that these community tournaments are happening, and I think that's awesome, but if I'm being honest, there's part of me that can't help but feel pessimistic about it, or kind of like, in some regards, it's almost a slap to the face, which is ridiculous to say, but I feel like in the absence of the SPL in Season 11 of Smite 1 transitioning to Smite 2, so all of 2024, I guess is an easier way to say it, I think everybody could feel how drained the community was in terms of engagement, right? There just really wasn't much going on. There wasn't much to get excited about. I think content suffered for everybody on Twitch, on YouTube. I think overall gameplay suffered because there were shifts from the amount of resources being given to Smite 1, and then obviously Smite 2 wasn't in the greatest spot for a long time. So overall, it was just a really tough year. And I think going from that to the Founder Series with the whole Vegas tournament and everything, I feel like that went really well. Viewership for that was good. The turnout for it was good. You know, it was a small venue, but even then it still felt like a Smite tournament. And to have that and then have what seemed to be a pretty successful open beta launch to, you know, a ton of layoffs, then firing the entire esports and production department, and basically just, you know, that's the end of it right there. You know, that's kind of, and I'm not saying it was the wrong decision by the company, and I'm not, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm not on the inside, so I don't know everything, but it sends mixed signals, right? To remove that entire aspect of your company, and you've publicly shown that it's not valued for the past year and a half or 2 years. So I basically have no faith that that will change. And I think these community tournaments are mostly just, for me, at least from my perspective, it's kind of just a carrot on a stick. You know, it's just something to kind of tease you, to keep you going, but I don't think it's really going to get much better than that. And I don't mean, like, I think what Bobby is doing, what Nika and Hazer are doing, all of these people running the stuff, I think they're doing amazing work for people trying to be united in the game, and I don't want to discourage that by any means. I'm just saying, from a competitive standpoint, in terms of being able to do Smite professionally at that level as a job, I don't see it. I don't see it happening ever again. And I think I'm at peace with that being in the past. You know, I think I'm in a very, it's really unbelievable, honestly, and very humbling to say that I feel like I've accomplished everything I could ever want in a career. You know, I've gotten to play with amazing teams and teammates. I've had unreal, just the fan support and the love that the community has showed me and my teams and my teammates. It's indescribable how much that has meant over the years, and I don't know that it was even really deserved or earned, but yeah, I mean, just every part of it was just insane. And to be able to look back on a 10-year career and feel like I have no regrets, to feel like I gave everything I possibly could have to this game and to myself in terms of, you know, working hard to get the most out of my potential, and to look back and win multiple world championships, and even, like, you know, I'm more of a team first person in the sense that, you know, I'm playing support, right? It's not like I can carry all of the games or anything like that. But just the amount of success I've been fortunate enough to have, like, to have multiple world championships, to have, I believe I'm like tied or solo leading, if you want to count Vegas or something, the most tournament wins ever by a player. I think I'm up there or leading for, like, regular season first place finishes as well. Like, just all of it. I don't know. Just it's unreal. It doesn't really feel like any of that stuff will really sink in until later. So yeah, I mean, I don't really see it getting better than that. And I think that's when it's a really good time to just appreciate what has been, and to not let myself kind of fall away from that. Because what I've noticed lately, and really the past year or so, is that there's just so much negativity for me clouded around Smite. You know, there's just so much, and I'm not saying I haven't been a part of it or haven't even been a major voice or, you know, whiner about it, but there's just so much about, you know, all of the bad decisions the company's making, or the layoffs, or the patches being horrible, or, all of these mistakes that have been made in the past, and it adds so much kind of bitterness and animosity for the game, and I just don't want to let that be the final aftertaste I have from Smite. I want it to be that I feel happy and I feel privileged and I feel grateful for everything that the game has given me, and just walk away from it before I let that be soured. So yeah, I mean, I think that's most of it. I think most of it's the competitive part and just the fact that, I'm old now. I'm not like old, but I'm old enough that I can't justify spending a significant amount of my time in the future to doing something I don't feel like has upside, which to me, I just don't see it in Smite anymore, as painful as that is to say. And again, I'd love to be wrong with all of this stuff, but it's just kind of my perspective on it for whatever reason. I don't want to say that I'll never play the game again. Right now it doesn't sound fun to me. I've really not been a fan of the direction that the game is going or the patches, and that's a personal flavor thing. I'm not saying the game is bad or anything. I actually think really since December, maybe end of November, December, Smite 2 to me was a better game than Smite 1 ever was in terms of kind of freedom as an individual player and mechanical expression and just the depth and the options that you had with all the new systems. I think there's a lot of positives there that made the game really fun and really enjoyable to play, and I haven't felt that as of late, and the directions that the patches have gone for me kind of go away from that. So it just isn't something that I'm excited or looking forward to playing. It's not something that I enjoy spending my time doing, and I think if that's the case, then kind of why do it? And if that changes, I'm sure there'll be times where maybe I'll throw up a stream every now and then and say hi, or if Atlas gets released, maybe I'll stream it for a day or two or whatever, and see what's up and try to play some of my favorite characters if and when they come out. But yeah, in terms of a consistent basis, I don't think that'll be what's going on for me anymore. I guess I'm going back and forth as I'm thinking about it now. If I want to go more in depth about topics, maybe I'll put that at the end if people want the drama portion. I guess I'd rather not make a separate video for it, because if I do that, it's going to be like an attack video, and that's not what I want. I'm just gonna give my perspective candidly, I guess. So yeah, before that, I just want to thank all of you guys for honestly just being such a huge part of my life the past 10 years. Just everyone. I mean, fans of me, fans of my teammates, fans of the league, people who watched the pro games, people who watched content, people who watched me play duel for 40-minute Merlin games until I had 5 3K pots to win the game, people who were just SPL fans in general, even people who like love to hate me and slam me and post on Reddit about how dog shit and washed I am, all of that. Like, it honestly, thanks for all of it. Like, it's an insane, I can't even tell you guys what it's like to be playing on a stage in front of a crowd, sharing the thing you love with thousands of people in person who are as passionate about it as you are. It's one of the best experiences of my life, and to think that I got to do it time and time again over these years, and to see how many of you came to multiple events and supported me, and even like my parents can't believe it when they've come to the events and people have come up to them or said hi, or just how they see how amazing Smite's community and fan base has been. I really don't know where I'd be without this game and this community and all of you guys and just everything. It's meant the world to me, truly. It's been not only like a passion and a job and just a fulfillment of like a sick psychotic competitive drive that I have as a person, but it's also been a retreat in a lot of ways. I'm sure a lot of you have had similar experiences with games where, you know, maybe things aren't going great in your personal life, and, you know, it feels good to kind of have an escape like that. It feels good to have something that you can go to that takes your mind off of it, and video games have kind of always been that for me. They've always given me solace. They've always been something that's peaceful, something that I enjoy, something that's fun, something that's cool to socialize with and hang out with friends and connect with people. And to be able to do that for a living it's an insane thing that I never would have thought was possible, for sure. Truly a childhood dream. I think, you know, honestly, there's been I've had some really rough years in my personal life the past, honestly, 3 to 5 years, somewhere in there. It's been rough. I'm sure a lot of you guys could have guessed that by a lot of other things that have gone on, but I don't really I don't really know where I'd be without this stuff. I don't know where my head would be at, and I kind of feel like I got a fairy tale ending in a lot of ways. Like, I threw up this set in the background just while I'm talking because I think this, in hindsight, I think this is my favorite set of my career, or the most memorable one for me. And I feel like this kind of encapsulates the fairy tale storybook ending of, I can't tell you guys how many times. I think I'm the only player who won multiple worlds and didn't do it back to back. I think Aurora told me that once when we were still doing the podcast. And I can't tell you how many times after season 4 One United where I just always questioned if it was a fluke, or if it was or if I belonged, or if I was good enough. It was just a constant question I thought about. And I feel like this ending was kind of a lot of, you know, validation for my career, where I probably sunk more time and more effort into this season 10 Dragons team than I did any other time in my career. And I feel like just being able to experience that with this group of people and to overcome my own personal issues with worlds or career or blocks or whatever, and help them overcome theirs, I think it's just a bonding experience I'll never forget. And I think it's moments like that have really made it all worth it and got me out of those darker or more defeating times in my personal life. And I think the fact that this community was such a big part of that and helped me with that, it's I don't know, I feel like I owe the world to you guys, and I feel like I can never repay it, and that sucks. But yeah, I hope you guys know that I tried my best to give it everything I had, and I hope everyone had fun along the way, and I hope you guys felt that it was appreciated, not just by me, but by all of us, you know? Every single pro player, every single person who was an admin or a caster or worked in production or worked in, just all of it. Just the community people at Hi-Rez, just all of it. I think it's just, I keep saying it, but it's unreal. It's been unbelievable. So yeah, thank you guys again for all of that. I always thought that if I had kind of a final going away sort of video or post, that I should definitely be, there's a long list of people I want to thank, and I tried to write down some, and hopefully I do my best. If I'm sure I'm going to forget someone, because there's so many so many amazing people over the years. So if I do, I'm very sorry. But yeah, I mean, just throughout my whole career, it's just weird to think back of. Like, just some of the people I want to thank are like Shadow Q. For those of you who still remember Shadow Q, he's probably a big reason I ever got into competitive Smite. I used to watch his stream every single day before I went to class. When I was going to college, I was going to community college at the time, and I would snipe him every morning. I would snipe his rank Qs every single morning. And I would play against him, and I would type in chat and ask, like, you know, what can I do better? What are we doing well? And he didn't care. He didn't mind. He didn't find it annoying. Maybe he did, but he didn't show it. And it felt like I was getting like a practice session all the time. And I even, like, I got coaching lessons from him at some point. I learned so much from him. Just how to be better at the game and how to be just competitive mindset, just all of it. And that really extended through my early Challenger Cup teammates, Elbro Chacho and Chapo and Bolcher and Nantan. I remember subbing for that High Five team way back when they gave me a shot. And I remember finishing third place, and we lost to Eager. And Legion of Carrots, who ended up making the SPL the very next split back when there were relegations. And I remember just being, at the time, I started playing Smite of summer of 2014. Janus release is when I started. And I think I started playing comp at that level in spring of 2015, like March of 2015. And eventually went pro in summer of 2015. Like, in less than a year, it went by like a flash. So yeah, all those guys that I listed, and then on Resist, I think was really where I had a lot of freedom with Chaos, with Hoodat, with Fearno, and Ballantyne. Just all of those guys, and I don't know, they're really what sparked it, honestly. They're really what sparked the fire. That team, both of those Challenger Cup teams, for me, it kind of gave me a taste of what it was like to be in a team environment, what it was like to be around people who were obsessed with trying to get better and to support each other, and like that camaraderie was something I was missing ever since playing sports as a kid. So shout outs to every single one of them. And then, you know, eventually Zap and Lassus for picking me up on Eager and giving me a shot. I remember the first time I played ranked with Zap, and I duo queued with them after they officially picked me up. They already had contracted me, or the SPL had, or however it worked back then, I don't remember. And I wasn't even Masters in ranked. I was literally hard stuck Diamond. And I remember Zap being like, wait, are you even Masters? I was like, hell nah, brother. I'm climbing right now, dude. Tap in. It was just so insane. It's just so funny that it happened that way. But yeah, I learned so much from those guys. It kind of reminds you of, you know, like in traditional sports where people talk about the value of having veterans on your team. With those two, and with Omega and with Kret coaching, all of those guys helped me so much. Through some blunt criticism that I love. I've always responded well to blunt criticism throughout my childhood with like sports coaches or career or whatever. And yeah, that I feel like every teammate I had along the way, even if they didn't always believe in me, I feel like they always gave me a chance to be my best, or a chance to improve. And so yeah, thank you to all of those guys. Honestly, in case I miss someone, I'm just gonna do a blanket thank you to literally every single one of my teammates that I ever played with, just for putting up with my shit. Honestly, I'm not always the easiest person to work with, but I hope everyone that I ever played with knows that I appreciated them greatly, and I hope they all feel that I gave them what I had, and I feel like that was reciprocated as well. And I got to play with some amazing teammates, and more importantly, some amazing people. I mean, just a mix of from from the era of playing with the E United boys when we won Worlds, when, you know, I'm the oldest player on that team at 20 years old, and just the journey of like me and Chaos and then Ven and Scream and Panda and Benji and just all of us trying to get to that level at the same time together. And Benji was already at that level. That guy's the GOAT. But yeah, just to try to win together, and how obsessive we were and how insane we were in terms of like how harsh we were on each other, but it was all out of like love and belief that we could do that we could get to that point, that we could win Worlds, that we could be a great team. I've never felt that level of belief from teammates in one another. Even until the end of my career, I never felt that again to that level. That was a really special group of people. And yeah, no, I just, all of those guys, all of the Ghost and rival teams with, you know, Twig and Alec and fucking Slaney and Sam, and of course Cardi in there. I forgot to mention Cardi on the Unite team. Shout outs Cardi. We love Cardi. But yeah, I mean, that Ghost and rival team, Slaney, Twig, Sam, Alec, Max, just all of them, all of those years. Those were truly the 2 most fun years I think I've had in my life, of playing with those guys and living in that team house together. Just the amount of memories from that era of my life and that team. It sucks in hindsight that we didn't end up winning Worlds together, but if I had to choose between winning Worlds those years and not having the fun we had together, I would not change it for the world. I just, that was just awesome. That was a special team. I know a lot of you guys that we always get told we always get told by fans like, oh, that was my favorite team. That's what got me into Smite, and that's so cool to hear. And yeah, I love those guys. That whole group of people. I mean, especially Max. I've thanked him twice basically because I played with that idiot for so long. But yeah, no, I just thanks to all those guys as well. Just truly special people, with spending time with them and memories I'll never forget. It's meant a ton. I think, gosh, let's make sure I just keep going. All the casters, the admins, the commissioners. Shout out to APC Season 2. I played in the SPL for 2 splits when that guy was the commissioner of the league. He helped me avoid getting DDoSed because I accidentally leaked my Skype on stream within like 1 month of trying to stream. I was playing a duel game, I think, and I accidentally leaked Skype when everybody was getting DDoS attacked in the SPL. So shout out to APC. He was awesome. Cooper, Aaron, Vinny, Kabam for multiple reasons. Kabam as a teammate, a coach, a friend, everything with that guy. That guy's a Swiss Army knife of my life. We love Kabam. But yeah, all of those guys. Ovrin as well. Every single caster. I'm not going to mention Aggro for now. But yeah, I mean, Gore and Dave and Myth and just, sorry, it made me, I lost my train of thought because I thought about Finch as well. And Allied, and just those hard times in the community and how sad those were and how meaningful they were to the Smite community and all of us in general. And just, I have nothing but fond, happy memories of those guys, and they were truly special people. And yeah, sorry, that was an intrusive aside, but it just made me think of it. But yeah, I mean, all of the casters, you know, Bart, and I mean, hosts as well, Kelly, you know, not technically a caster, but Kelly owns, we love Kelly. But yeah, all of them who just were a part of bringing the product to you guys and making it feel special. And just all, again, I should construct it a little bit better. All the admins for putting up with my shit. You guys have no idea the amount of messages I have sent to Vinny or Kabam or I think Auburn and Mallory maybe got a dose of it a little bit in my younger years, and Cooper and Aaron, the amount of like 3 a.m. DM spam they got from me when I was pissed off about something, whether it was roster locks or the way the league was structured or the format or anything under the sun you could think about. The amount of shit they put up with from me, it truly too long of a leash for me, that's for sure, but I appreciate all of them so much. Did I forget any of the casters? Let's run it back. F. Gore, Dave, Myth, Bart. I'm gonna miss people, guys. I'm gonna miss people. I really don't want to miss people. I can't think. Aggro. They were all dope to work with. Hindu. Jeez, Hindu. How did I not slam that name in there earlier? All of them. It was awesome to be around the studio and hang out with all those guys, and again, just share. You guys have no idea how lucky everyone felt when we went to tournaments and stuff. Just like, how cool is it that we get to do this? So yeah, production staff, all of them. Dude, shout out Lewis. Lewis owns. Billy for helping Aurora and I on the podcast so much. Billy was owning. Jameson, that's my goat, of course. Just Jordan, everyone on production. There's so many names flying through my head. If I forget anyone, I'm so sorry, but they're all my goats. All amazing people. They made all the content stuff so fun, you know, the dreaded, we gotta go in for content interviews and stuff, but they kept it fun. And that was it was cool. I guess did I forget any teammates? I guess I'm going back to teammates again. Obviously this Dragons team that I'm watching now, all the EU boys, Coast and Lassie and Cherry and Nika and Dardas. Like I said, I think this Worlds was my favorite. This exactly is my favorite set of my career, this Worlds, and I couldn't have asked for a better ending, and I'm so glad I got to share it with those guys. And this year was really tough on all of us. I mean, the crossroads we were all at multiple times this year, we were horrible, man. We were horrible in the regular season. And every single tournament we're on the cope that like, oh my god, we're top 4 at every tournament. We're that close. Like, we could have won. We could have done this. We could have done that. We threw, blah, blah, blah. To finally, like, get to put all the pieces of the puzzle together with them was awesome. And so, yeah, shout outs to all those guys, obviously. Did I forget any coaches? Kret, Slaney, Cardi, Kabam, Cherry. Did I miss anyone? I think those are all the coaches. I hope so. Almost forgot about the Envy team, you know, Skeely and Spinner and Kiki and Oceans. Honestly, shout out Spinner. Spinner kind of saved my career. Because if it wasn't for Spinner making an ultimatum that he wasn't going to leave Envy to go to Allegiance unless it was me instead of Incon, who knows where I would have been, you know? That was my first Worlds qualification with him. To be able to play with him again in Vegas was awesome. Truly one of the smartest competitors and the best players I've played with or against. So yeah, I mean this recent team at Vegas, Spinner and Benny, it was awesome to play with those guys. How cool is it that getting Benny to win a major tournament? That's fucking dope as well. The amount of shit that guy has been given over the years for playing Terra mid or whatever else that guy's up to. Yeah, that was awesome to be a part of. All the people I competed against, I guess, thanks to as well. I mean, we'll start with the obvious one, but people like Aurora who just, whether he meant to or not, he pushed me every single fucking year to get better and to improve and to change the way I viewed the game, and still to me is the most influential or transformative player Smite has ever had. Truly one of the most unique brains, and just always had new ideas, always pushed the game forward, and always had different ways to look at things. And yeah, to get to compete against Aurora for that long, to be able to do Traveler's Proc with him, I wish I was in a better state of mind to keep going with that, but my mental health and my focus on it was just not great. But yeah, that was truly a treat. That was probably the thing I looked forward to every single week, was getting to just talk about Smite with someone who was as passionate about it as Aurora is. That was awesome. So yeah, Aurora's a big one. Tons of other people I loved playing against, and even scrimming against, like Neil. Every single time I got to scrim against Neil, it was a treat. Speaking of Neil, because Neil makes me think of Sam, because they both have a very similar sense of humor. Did I thank Sam on the... I mean, I'll get to Sam later. Sam's in another group of people for me as well, but made me think about that. Yeah, who else? Thanks to Paul for kicking my ass, I guess. That wasn't very cool. Not very chill. Didn't enjoy that, but... there's some lesson in there somewhere. I didn't learn it, but there's a lesson in there somewhere, so why not? But yeah, man, there's so many, oh my god, so many other people. Something I also remembered is like Bara and Jeff. Thank you to those two as well. Like, two of truly the kindest people, and they were just awesome so early in my career. I remember the first tournament I ever went to when I was on Eager was it was COG Invitational in season 2 after they had won Worlds, and we went to San Jose, and I was so socially awkward and shy and nervous at that tournament. I felt like I did not belong at all. I literally went to the venue, and I don't think I said a word to anyone or introduced myself to anyone for like 4 hours. I didn't say a fucking word. I basically sat in the corner. I was so shy. The first people who came up to me were Allied and Jeff. And they just like would walk around, like we walked around the city a little bit and like got something to eat, and they made me feel like a part of the club, you know? And Jeff kept that same energy his whole career. It was always a lovely person to be around, an amazing human. Also someone I learned a ton from. I mean, really every support player. I cannot tell you guys how much I leached from every single one of you and learned so much from. But yeah, I remember one of the fondest memories I have is I remember season 4 Worlds at the Cobb after we had won. Us and LG, which was Jeff and Bear and Basket and Mask and Aqua, they were the only other NA team to qualify. And basically at Cobb, the way you would do like media after you would win, and you would do like some short interviews or like sign some stuff or whatever. And there was a back entrance or back exit from the stage to get to like the upper balcony of Cobb where all the press stuff was. And I remember we won and we celebrated on stage and we packed up all of our stuff, and we go through those doors, and the first people we see are Jeff and Bara, who are just waiting there to congratulate us and give us all hugs. And because we literally triple blocked against those guys for months straight, leading into that World, like for the entire fall split, we just scrim partnered against them. So that was an incredible memory. That was to go from the people that you're looking up to and you're trying to beat so hard. Well, pause. You're trying so hard to beat, to them, you know, sharing that moment with you. That meant the world. It's still something I can picture vividly in my head, even though it's a small thing. It meant a lot. So yeah, that was insane. It also made me think of just all the people we practiced against that made us better and made Scrim's so enjoyable. I remember the Scrim partner days with Splice before Worlds, and basically triple blocking against them as well. Just all of those different eras of Smite, and all those different metas, and all of those different teams that were so fun to play against, that pushed you further. Yeah, I don't know. Just thank you to all the pro players. Really, it's truly a fraternity in the sense of we're like a brotherhood, and just people that were fun to be around, and also people that you fucking hated to lose to, loved to beat, have your little rivalries and grudges and whatever else. But yeah, it was special, and everyone was a part of it. So yeah, shout out to all of them. Feel like there's also a group of people that I had just forgotten, but there's some more. Shout outs to Becky and Weekend. Becky, for those of you who don't know her, is who's done like pretty much all of the art for my channel or my avatars, or literally everything ever since like season 2 when I was on Eager up until literally like 2023, 2024. I still had commissioned her to do stuff. So yeah, Becky owns. We love Becky. One of my goats for sure. Weekend as well. Always open to lending an ear, to being helpful, whether it was when we were teammates together or just teaching me about, streaming or content or whatever else. Truly always, regardless of what people may think about him, truly has always been one of the most supportive people in terms of just helping people out. So yeah, shout outs to Kurt as well for that. And then I think lastly, off the top of my head, is Smite's responsible for giving me lifelong friends that I hope I never fall out of touch with. Even the people I'm playing WoW with right now, with like Magic Feet and Joshi and Kabam and Stid, and Woonie has been playing, like that's been amazing. But also just the boys that I've talked to for basically 10 years, maybe 8 years for some of them, but Meerkat, Snoopy, Aggro, Mask, Ionic, Hurry, Sam, like every single one of them. I mean, they're probably not even gonna listen to this, but love you guys. Friendships meant the world to me, and I hope to continue that for many, many more years. Truly some of the most special people to me in my life, and been through a lot together. They've helped me through a lot of stuff, and yeah, I think that's it. I hope I hit every nail on the head on that. I'm sure I forgot somewhere in there. I could go on days and days. Shout out Jithens, all the community tournaments, all the Smite primers that he's put on. JMac, I forgot about JMac in the casters. That's another name that popped up. Shout out to JMac. Super kind guy. In the kindest sense of the word, like the ultimate Smite nerd, which I loved. Like, you could just walk into the studio and JMac was just pumped to talk about Smite. He was just happy to be there. He was like, hell yeah, another day to cast and talk about Smite, let's go. And that was awesome. And just love to be around it. So yeah, I think that's it. I think let's end the video here for all the positive stuff. Do I even want to go into the negative stuff? I don't think so. I think maybe that's something that if people are curious, I'll be streaming well. You can ask me about it then, and I'll be transparent. But I think I like ending this the way that it is. So once again, thanks to every single one of you. It's gonna be really funny if I post this and then, I'm playing. If they have a prize pool for like $2 million or something insane, yeah, you better believe I'd compete for it. But I don't see that happening. So I think this is the end. I intend on it being the end. Thank you guys so much. If you happen to play WoW and you want to talk WoW, chop it up, do whatever, say hi sometimes. I'll be here. So if that's the end of the road, between us, thank you again for all the support you guys have shown and given me. And yeah, I think we're good there. I don't know a smooth way to end this because I'm just a bit of a ranter. So I'm just still yapping. But yeah, I guess until next time, peace out.